And I also think that we need to be careful here to distinguish between the practices of the formula manufacturers and the product of formula milk itself. Because I think that, there's another way and another context in which one can think about the advent of formula, and that is very much a scientific innovation. And yes, perhaps driven, by profit-making, industrialization motives, but also with the potential to liberate women in all kinds of different ways, to do other things than have to feed their babies. And, formula milk today particularly in the global north, is a life-saving and life-sustaining product that, supports millions of babies to survive and thrive. And I think we also need to be careful to remember the sort of before times when, some people might look back through kind of rose-tinted lenses and think, well, before the advent of formula, women were all just happily breastfeeding.
Right.
It was all, just lovely and natural. But actually, no. Again, it's complicated. And what was actually going on was that for some people, it worked very effectively and efficiently. For others, it didn't, as it doesn't today. And those women, if they were able to afford it, could employ wet nurses. But if they couldn't, they would feed their babies all sorts of different things, like sweetened tea, also made with, dirty water, and not providing sufficient nutrition for a newborn baby, or unpasteurized cow or goat's milk. And infant mortality was through the roof. So I think we've got to be really careful here not to romanticize the period before formula milk, and to and not to just demonize formula milk because of the practices of formula companies, and to remember that as long as people, can afford to buy it and have access to clean water and heat sources, then it can be an incredible scientific innovation that is life-saving, life-sustaining, and liberating.